And we are back. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Another episode of the Doing All Right here, boy. Bryan Broaddus. They hate when we say Piker Marsden's name, but we kind of got to mention throughout this week there. We are playing the Green Bay Packers, and me and Mr. Broaddus going to do our best to break that game down for y'all, all right? I'm over here in the Iron Throne. Bryan's over there kicking it on his side of the mothership, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, Bryan.
Yeah.
We was doing film yesterday. It was on some other program, but this is the one that matters.
This is the one that matters right now, right?
This one right here. We really didn't get a chance to go back and forth on the Booker injury.
Sure. What
that's going to mean for you, who's the next guy up. We mentioned a little bit, but we always can go a little deeper here.
Right.
Over at the house here, Bryan. I imagine that's going to be a big blow for you.
Right.
Major impact, and it doesn't hurt that Beebe's also hurt.
Right.
Right, Bryan? So these next few games, though, just in context of who we're playing, who we're missing, how do the Cowboys live without Beebe and Booker in there, Bryan?
Yeah, let me ask you, though, this question, and because you're my expert in the offensive line, the question I have for you is, how does that affect Steele?
Oh.
Because this team has done a really nice job. When we break down the tape on a weekly basis, Steele might be a little bit of some liability as a pass blocker, but the run blocking stuff with him and Booker, and even you could talk about what they've been able to do at tight end. They've been able to get some movement. That's the one thing that Booker has been able to do. Him and Steele have been able to get movement in the running game. Voch, how does that affect how Steele's going to play in this game?
That's a fantastic point, Bryan. And if I can advocate, just to say quickly, both of your tackles look really nice in the run game this week.
Yeah.
In the run game.
In the run game.
Going backwards past setting, we still got a lot of work.
We got a lot of work to do.
I don't know how much work Terence can get done in pass setting, but run game, just like you said, Bryan, it's looking like it's coming together.
It's kind of clicking, yeah.
And boy, as soon as it and look, we're even talking about from the idea of, man, we just got movement on Dexter Lawrence.
Exactly.
And guys like that.
Yeah.
So now Beebe and Booker go down, right? So now you're like, damn, man, like, come on, like we finally getting this.
Finally getting
this
some
thing
traction here, yeah.
I always believe that better dudes is more important than continuity.
Yeah.
But once you got your line set already, now it's time to build continuity.
Right.
And boy, that just takes a really big blow to us. So now what we have to do is Terence has to get used to dealing with a new combo guy.
Right.
You've been combo guy with Booker the whole time. Booker's been healthy in camp. He's been around. And, even if you go the TJ Bass route, Bass is a guy that moves all over the line of scrimmage.
Right.
If Nate Thomas ends up being the guy, right? I'm not familiar with you being my right guard, Nate Thomas. So now it takes a game versus with Micah Parsons over there, with all these other guys, Gary, Wyatt. Now it's going to take a game, a huge game, a primetime game, a conference game to figure this out on the fly. So it's a huge blow for Terence, a guy that needs every advantage that he possibly can.
Right.
Unlike Tyler Smith, right? Because this is where it's different.
Right.
Tyler Smith can have Hakeem Adeniji over here. He can switch and have Chuma Dog over there.
Right.
Cam Fleming can go over there.
He's an all-pro.
You can put Tyler Biadasz over there.
Put you and I over there, right?
You can put us in there. Tyler Smith would be fine because he's a damn specimen.
Right.
Terence Steele's not quite that. So you want everything to be perfect for him, and it's a huge, huge blow for him. Bryan, watching the Cowboys film from last week, we're going to move on this, I promise. We're just talking. I noticed a lack of Brevyn Spann-Ford.
Right.
And when they played him, every time he got in the game, Brevyn Spann-Ford made me do something to rub my hands together.
Right.
But I saw a lot of schoolmaker. Ferguson's not going anywhere.
Right.
What they waiting on, Bryan?
Yeah.
Is it still a Brevyn Spann-Ford didn't get the last few weeks of camp in and they're working on some stuff? Is he in the same boat that Blue and Mozzie, some of these other guys? Maybe the practice isn't going as perfect. But man, when I see Brevyn in there, Bryan, I see a guy that's clearly blocking better.
He is.
And when he's catching the ball, don't nobody want to tackle him because he's 270 running at corners and all that, Bryan. Just before we get to the Green Bay game real fast, Bryan, what did you see from Brevyn in that last game watching that film?
Yeah, to me, this is where with Spann-Ford, at training camp, it was really, really clear that he was having the kind of camp that was better than Luke Schoonmaker. And now you're saying, okay, Luke Schoonmaker was kind of penciled in as the backup to Jake Ferguson. And then Spann-Ford started doing things in practices. We saw the seam routes. We saw some of the blocking stuff. We've seen him several times when he has combo blocked with Steele. They've been a good, whether it's left or right, it doesn't matter. He's done a really nice job for somebody. And then they haven't thrown the football to him. And this is where I was at with him, Voch.
Sure.
I was looking at Spann-Ford. I felt like, okay, for him to make the jump, it's going to have to be about looking more comfortable catching the football. Yeah. He caught the ball well in training camp. He really, really did. His off-season work was impressive for him to look far more comfortable catching the football. So to me, that is a good option right now with that big body. But, man, they are really relying on him as a blocker more than they are relying on him as a downfield threat. And I in a way, after watching him in training camp, I think that's a mistake. Yeah. I think they need to find more ways to get him involved. And I'm not just talking about the boots and the waggles and the nakeds where, he tries to slip out. But I'll tell you what, you're about to play a team in Green Bay that does a really good job of getting their tight ends involved to the point where it is like a weapon on some of the delay stuff they do. But, man, I'd love to see Spann-Ford have more of a role catching the football, but the blocking stuff's been outstanding.
Let me just go back to right guard real fast, Brian.
Yeah.
TJ Bass is a name. Nate Thomas is a possible name.
Right.
Brian, you remember we was drafting on day 3? And they drafted Cornelius.
Yeah, Johnny Cornelius, yeah.
And they called him a guard.
Right.
You don't think that, and he's on the team, like he's on the roster. It's not like he's a practice squad guy that needs to be elevated. Like he's around. I'm assuming the Cowboys, they like him enough to hold on to him, Brian. You don't think he gets involved in this right guard situation at all, do you, Brian?
Well, the question that I have is that they worked him so much at tackle, and you're absolutely right. When they handed in the card, guard was the listing on that.
Yeah.
This is the question now I have for you. And here you are, you're asking me questions, and now you're making me think of questions too.
All right, man.
But the thing with Cornelius, I think his lane right now is as a tackle. Okay. The thing I want to ask about, they signed French to the practice squad. Okay. This is a player that was with your line coach in Indianapolis, right? Are we maybe wondering, is the best way to go with this practice squad player as the starting center and play Hoffman at guard?
I hate that.
I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up just because practice squad guy.
Yeah.
You're better off because. And I just brought it up because of the familiarity and all that.
Sure.
But in trying to think, okay, what is Hoffman's best spot? He was fine at center the other day.
Just fine.
And he and TJ Bass, they played every offensive snap together in the preseason.
Yep.
They one would play guard, the other would play center. And then late in the game, the other one would jump over and play some center, and the other one would play guard.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to the practice squad guy, I'm just throwing stuff out there now.
Say something. They know Wesley French.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about Wesley French.
Right.
You don't know nothing about Wesley French. That's why you look at me like that, because you don't know Baby D. Wesley French. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna just roll the dice on this guy just showing up playing center day one.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of operation. Mental stuff that goes into playing center, lining us up, talking to Dak. And look, Dak can't do it by himself, but boy, I've been liking when Dak hasn't been having to doing it.
Right.
When Dak can just focus on secondary, he's not having to do a whole bunch of stuff down there. And that's what Beebe brought to the table. And honestly, Hoffman may be a better mental guy than Beebe, because Hoffman been doing it here longer than him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know Wesley French. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the one thing about guard is I want to say.
I just tried to throw you a curveball there, and you just kind of knocked it right out of the park. Okay, well then let me throw you this curveball then. Throw the curveball, and it's not really a curveball, but you and I seem to be in agreement about Nate Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Playing guard.
Yes, sir.
I kind of feel like for the power that they want to play with inside with Booker and try and keep the front of the pocket as kind of as strong and clean as you can. Mm-hmm. Nate Thomas showed me something though. He was almost your starting left tackle week one. Sure. Is there a reason why you can't work? I mean, maybe they are. We don't get to see all the practice. We don't get to see all the practice.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working him some at right guard. I would sure look at him at that right guard spot.
The Cowboys do a lot of secret stuff at that practice that we're not able to see.
Right.
The Cowboys had two of them, and one practice they're playing trap music, and everybody can look and see what's going on. But there's this other practice that we're not allowed to go see where they playing Ozzy Osbourne or something. You know what I'm saying? Leonard Skinner, Pour Some Sugar on Me, like they're playing those kind of songs, right, Brian? But that's the practice where they do the super secret Illuminati stuff. Now I was in the high chair working with you.
Right.
I was looking back. I said, hey, they didn't show that today. They didn't show that today.
Right.
Brian, it would not surprise me at all if they're gonna keep this right guard thing a total secret,
right,
till we get the game day. To your point, what I played Nate Thomas, what's stopping me from playing Nate Thomas? Nate Thomas has done nothing but prove that he'll show up and just take your job.
Right.
Awesome Richards is not here.
Oh no, he's
Nate Thomas is here.
He got Awesome Richards traded. Sure did.
Got him all the way about the club, Brian. Yeah. So if there's any reservation about TJ Bass, and which is fair to have him, I got a handful of them, right?
Right.
I think if you want to stay powerful and you want to stay physical, I think Nate's your guy. And that's kind of why I brought up Cornelius.
Yeah.
Johnny Cornelius, because he's another big, strong
He's a big,
dude.
Strong guy.
Not as good as some of these other guys. He's the third guy for a reason. But I just want to keep strong in there to help Brock. You said Brock was fine?
Yeah.
That's very polite of you.
Yeah.
Brock didn't get us killed.
Yeah,
Brock didn't do nothing strange to get us whooped, but Brock was.
He's playing a little sideways sometimes.
Brock was hanging in there,
exactly.
going on rides, but he didn't get you killed.
Right.
I think the more powerful your guards are, the better your.
It helps Brock Hoffman.
And plus,
for sure.
You just mentioned Terence Steele first. I think having a powerful right guard helps.
See, that's where I'm kind of worried about. I think Hoffman is going to be fine.
Yeah.
I worry about, do you lose Steele now as a run blocker?
Nah, man.
Because I feel like as a pass blocker, I'm holding on to my ass every play anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know when somebody's just going to say, you know what, I'm going to forklift you and run you right into Dak.
Sure.
You know?
I think Steele is veteran enough to where he can work with whoever they put in that right guard, as long as the physical side of it.
Right. As long as that person is, as long as that person's physical,
Man, I tell you what though, Bryan Broaddus, I was looking at this daggone Packers film, man.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they've been coming out there the past few games. Boy, they go out there and they beat the hell out the Lions, and we go, ooh, boy. Yeah. We talking about Packers offense.
Right.
Go out there, beat the hell out the Lions, and they run the football. Jordan Love threw less than 200 yards. But he was very efficient.
Yeah.
Very efficient. Boy, they go out there versus Washington football Wizards, more of a fight. Jordan Love almost threw for 300. I said, that's a better Jordan Love day. That's a dangerous Jordan Love day. Man, the Packers have some O-line problems, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And the Browns don't have D-line problems at all.
Right.
Not DeMarco. Browns don't have D-line problems at all.
Yeah.
And, boy, they put a whooping on that Packers offensive line.
Yeah, they sure did.
I'm going to talk about what all this means in context of the Cowboys in a minute, because we ain't got the Browns D-line. We ain't got them.
No.
But, boy, Brian, I saw when pressure comes to the party, you can affect Jordan Love.
Absolutely you can.
Brian, my opinion of Jordan Love, just kind of watching him, I think as a quarterback, good quarterback, I think the scheme is whooping your ass more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that coach over there calling plays with that French last name, Lefleur. I think he's the one that's making all this shake, Brian.
Yeah.
And I say this because you don't really see one receiver emerging that's tearing it up like that. You know, we've dealt with the neighbors, we've dealt with that duo over there with the Eagles, Roma Dunze and those guys clearly have wide receivers that emerge like that. Dobbs, Golden, and Wicks kind of play within the operation of the offense.
Sure do.
Whichever one go off is how they go off. I don't see either one of them as dangerous enough to beat you by themselves.
Right.
Tucker Kraft is a different story.
Right.
So, Brian, my overall feel of this offense, and we're going to break it down unit by unit, Brian, is that if you can affect how Jordan Love plays with the actual scheme of offense,
there you go.
I think that's your best way of shutting this thing down. Stopping the run, too, of course.
No, and you're absolutely right about this. And the more that I watched Jordan Love, and I went back and broke this thing down to where I just wanted to watch all the pressures, and I wanted to watch all the sacks, and I wanted to see how defenses were affecting it. You want to watch a clinic on pass rush and how to cover. That Cleveland Brown bunch got after him. The yards per attempt, yards per completion the first couple of weeks were super positive for Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. You get into that Cleveland game, it was a struggle, and they struggled with that offensive line.
Not just Myles Garrett.
No. Everybody got busy in that one. And to me, this is where, like, when you look at Jordan Love and how he plays, is that you kind of have to make him, and we talked about Russell Wilson playing backwards. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love, where he will miss is with his feet. Yeah. You will see some off the back foot throws. You will see some wonky footwork where all of a sudden he's kind of like trying to move and throw, and now it's too high or it's in the ground. Mm-hmm. You will see that with him, and that comes with pressure. When he's having to kind of move around, now he's capable. He's an athlete. He will make some throws. I saw a couple of throws that he was able to make to the outside. But where teams, and this goes back to either the Lions and then the Commanders and especially the Browns, when they got him to kind of play off balance, that's the best way of stopping him. I just feel like, though, it's going to be about pressure. The problem is, how does Dallas get pressure? It's been just non-existent throughout Voch, and you know that, and our listening audience knows that as well. You know, they talk about how to manufacture pressure. How do you get pressure? Yeah, we got to. Flus can manufacture pressure. I was talking to a coach yesterday in the National Football League that told me, I heard the same things that they were talking about. I heard Flus talk about manufacturing pressure. I heard Stephen Jones talk about it. This coach told me is like, well, you better start damn blitzing more if you're going to manufacture pressure. Yeah. Nobody plays more four-man front, four-man rush than the Dallas Cowboys. But if you're going to want to manufacture pressure, you better find a way now to scheme it. And that's where I think if Dallas had a guy like Overshown, or they had some confidence in these edges, and I think you're going to bring up a really good point here, because we talked about this in the pre-show meeting, is if you're the Packers, who do you worry about more? Yeah. Do you worry about the interior of the Cowboy defense, or do you worry about the edges?
So let's do it, Brian. So when we break down this Packers offensive line, number 63, the left tackle Walker, he's not elite by any means, or whatnot, but solid player, whatever, cool, go out there. Their right tackle, who's really good, Zach Tom, is injured.
Yes, oblique.
Yeah. And those can be tricky. Those can last longer than you expect. Last game, he went out there, one snap, came right back off. So it's not looking good for him this week.
Right.
If he plays, that's a great right tackle for him. But
absolutely.
If not, still cool. What they did, Brian, is that they rotate the backup right tackle with Belton and their left guard, Jordan Morgan.
Right.
Now, their starting left guard, Aaron Banks, is hurt.
Right.
With a groin
injury, right.
So if he's able to play, cool. Aaron Banks is there. But if Banks is not playing, I would imagine that Morgan stays at left guard and Belton would be your right tackle, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Here's my whole setup, right? Let me look down this depth chart, Brian. We ain't doing nothing else. Even if Darian Kennard was at left tackle, I'm not banking on our edges getting pressure.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. If they went and got somebody from their practice squad, let's see if they got a tackle on their practice. So they got a character named Brant Banks, 72, on their practice squad. Even if they elevate him and play him at right tackle, Brian, I'm not counting on the Cowboys' edge pressure at all. I'm just not. The Cowboys going to have to, if they want me to have faith in this evaluation.
Could Clowney change your mind at all going to?
I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see. They're going to have to show me something that I haven't seen.
That's fair. That's very fair.
That I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Because in the spring, if you tell me, hey, can Dante Fowler get pressure versus some third string? I say, hell yeah, he can.
Yeah.
Sam Williams, Sam will be fine against some. The rookie Donovan Ezra has been tearing it up at camp. Voch, you think he can go out there? Yeah. In spring, in camp.
Yeah.
At this point, Bryan Broaddus, they're going to have to show me. So I don't care who's out there. I'm not banking on them getting pressure from the edges. Kenny Clark got a sack though, Brian.
Right.
Oso Odighizuwa got a lot of pressure. Kenny Clark's supposed to have 2 sacks actually, but they gave it to Marshawn or whatever.
Split it, yeah.
They gave it to him. Oso got one too, I believe. Brian, if you're gonna get pressure, I think it's gonna have to be from the inside.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be from the interior. Jordan Morgan, I liked him as a tackle, but they playing him at left guard. He one of them guards that I don't like. He one of them 305-pound guards. If you're going to get any kind of pressure in this game, Brian, I think it's going to have to be from the interior. If Jordan Morgan's going to be the left guard, and if Sean Ryan, Sean Ryan's the scrub.
Yep, there you go.
If we talking about finding the scrub, Sean Ryan is the guy that you just go get. Kenny Clark, Solomon Thomas, Osa, go get him.
The quickness, right?
Quickness.
Yeah.
And I feel solid about those guys because they don't play tackle.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But it's so funny because if you look at the Packers, whether it's Belton or whether it's Walker, there's like both these guys, 12% pressure rate on both these guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that we've got to the point where we have zero confidence or show me that you could get pressure on these guys, even though that both their tackles are giving up alarming pressure rates.
If White Cotton and them have a come to Jesus meeting and all of a sudden the edges can win one-on-ones, and I'll change my evaluation.
Somebody lays hands on them
in week 5, 6, or 7, I'll change my evaluation.
Yeah.
If Eberflus decides that he's going to go out and blitz and somehow bringing 5 does something to the chemistry of the offensive line that you're going against, and maybe then you can win one-on-ones on the edges, I'll change my evaluation for week 5, 6, or 7, Brian. But just as of how it is right now, if there's any hope of getting pressure, it's going to be through Osa and
God, that's just so sad. Terrible. Especially when you watch how the Packers are playing at the tackle spots and how not having Zach Tom in there kind of affects.
Yeah.
But they're moving all kinds of guys around. And
because if you got Micah Parsons, I'm lining him up over
it hurt them in the Browns game.
100%.
All that movement hurt them in the Browns game.
Also, too, Bryan Broaddus, I'm just assuming, right? On the film session that we did here, I showed everybody that the Cowboys are whipping out gap exchanges now.
Right.
Dante Fowler almost got a pressure.
Right.
Might have been his first one the whole season, Brian. But he did get some sort of a pressure doing loops and stunts.
Right.
Maybe that's something that you can bring to the party and watching film on the Packers and not just the Browns game that happened in week 1 also versus the Lions, is that they lose a little bit when it comes to stunts and slants and gap exchanges up front, and that might help you because now you got young guys in there playing. So Belton is a rookie stepping in there playing. Jordan Morgan's playing all over the offensive line.
Yeah, tackle guard.
That may kind of mess him up a little bit. I also think stunts and gap exchanges give you a little bit of hope, Brian.
Yeah, too. And you were talking about, and I know in the breakdown on Thursday, you're probably going to show us like Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Right. You're gonna probably point out that their center has had some problems with some of the gap exchange stuff, and then Ryan being a little slow-footed. Yeah. Man, this would be the week to have like a legitimate pass rush, right?
Great week.
I mean, it would be a great week
because they're having issues, and it's been proven that issues give the quarterback issues. But
see, this is the problem. The last 3 weeks now. And it goes back to the Giants in week 2 with the problems they had in the offensive line. Yeah. You go to Chicago, we're talking about Jones and how they're giving up pressures, and then he has a clean game, and that part of it's just so disheartening to me. Okay, let me ask you this real quick question.
Yes, sir.
The lack of pressure or the way the secondary is covering, which one has been more disappointing to you through the first 3 weeks?
That's a great question, Bryan Broaddus. That's a great question. I feel like big plays can happen to anybody.
Sure, they get 415 yards of deep passes.
We give it up a lot of big.
That's plays. What I'm saying, man.
Okay, how about this? I can say that, hey, man, we had a feeling that Wan'Dale Robinson would be dangerous.
Sure.
Roma Dunze, guys like this, Malik Neighbors are dangerous. Yeah. We had this feeling. I don't know. I wish they would do what they did in week 1 versus the Eagles in week 2 and 3, but whatever. Yeah. I think there's absolutely no excuse while you go into the Giants game.
Right.
Eleanor is terrible.
Yeah.
James Hudson ain't good neither.
No.
He goes out.
He got pulled.
And Marcus Mbo goes out there.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get no pressure one-on-one.
Yeah.
Or Braxton Jones last week.
Braxton Jones.
Couldn't get. I watched Donovan Ezraku run down the middle of Darnell Wright and I almost threw up on my computer, Brian.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I've seen Donovan do better than that.
Yeah.
I've seen Donovan do much better than that.
Sounds like you sounds like you're thinking that the lack of pass rush is a bigger
lack of pass rush is some nonsense, Brian. I can forgive Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. Those are dudes.
Sure.
Eleanor is not a dude.
Yeah.
Braxton Jones is not a dude. Hell, Rasheed Walker's not a dude. But he about to go out there and look like one Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be like a guy gave up 25% pressures in a game last week, and then this week gives up no sacks and stuff like that.
That's my problem, Brian.
But the pressure's the best way to beat this
for sure
Packers offense, right?
Sure.
Because it affects the quarterback.
Their scheme sets it up to where they're going to get wide open looks anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to get wide open looks in this scheme, and all Jordan has to do is Jordan Love. All he has to do is make the right read.
Yeah.
So you're going to get wide open throws sometimes. That's just how Green Bay gets down. They've been doing it all year.
Right.
But you're going to have to get pressure to deal with that. And I just don't think the Cowboys can do that right.
You know what terrifies me in this game?
What's that?
Is these tight ends.
Yeah, Brian,
I mean, this terrifies me to the point of the Dallas loses tight ends in coverage.
Yeah.
They lose crossers and they'll lose vertical guys. We've seen all that. This scheme is different because they played 12 personnel and the tight ends stay in and block.
Yep.
They hold Mississippi guy, one Mississippi, two Mississippi, and then they go.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden they're running and Jordan Love checks it down and it's a 9-yard gain that way.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft has been that guy.
Sure.
Tucker Kraft has been that guy that's made those kinds of plays where it's one Mississippi, two, and then release.
Yeah.
And now the ball's his direction.
Not only that, Bryan Broaddus, but Tucker Kraft has emerged as a yak guy.
Yeah, that's like
as a hard to tackle dude, which is
10 yards. Pop doing that. Yeah.
Hey, Jake Ferguson, you want to go back to your old life and damn act like Tucker Kraft? But nah, Brian, it's interesting when we can do our little film or whatever.
Sure.
Right? So I pulled up Jordan Love passing touchdowns.
Right.
They're all in the red zone.
They're all in the red zone.
All of his passing touchdowns are in the red zone. It's not like they're hitting you for these, plays from the 30 and he just somebody running 70 yards or intermediate or anything.
But he's killing zone coverage, man. The metrics will tell you no touchdowns, no interceptions, but big numbers.
But they get right up in that 20-yard line range.
Right.
And they throw those corners.
Yeah.
And they throw up the seams, and a lot of that just be Tucker Kraft just finding it and just running himself into the ends or just running.
We're just the safety play right now is just nowhere where it needs to be. And it's not just Donovan Wilson though; it's a little bit of Hooker. And we've talked about, would this be something? I know I asked you the question yesterday on the break about where would you be opposed to trying to play with Bell and Thomas a little bit. I'm to the point, Voch, when it comes to this defense, that I'm not opposed to trying different things. Sure. I'm not opposed to trying different personnel. I'm not opposed to maybe activating Shamar James and seeing if he can play some linebacker.
So I was just about to ask you, Voch says this, one more thing we can get up out of here, Brian. Bro. Well, Shotty said that there will be changes.
Yeah.
Scheme and personnel.
Yeah.
What that mean, Brian?
Sometimes coaches talk big.
Yeah.
Sometimes they talk big.
Mike McCarthy did that a bunch.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy talked big a lot. I think to me, when you start to talk about scheme changes, I think Jerry and Steven have now asked the question about, we talked about manufacturing pass rush. Manufacture the pass rush. Figure that out. So we'll see. Bland looks good to go this week. Bland, Diggs. I'll tell you what, man. I think I'm keeping Reedy Stewart on the field too. I think I'm keeping Stewart. I'm going to go, and maybe Elam's the one that's going to sit here.
Yeah.
Maybe the Elam, where they've had a little trouble, where the Packers have had a little trouble, and they don't see it a whole lot, is with some dime defense. So with 6 defensive backs, do you find a way now? Do you go and try and play a corner on one of these tight ends? You try and play a little bit more. You would like to say, oh, well, let's get one of the safeties involved in all that. But if you go through the numbers, they haven't seen a lot of it in 3 weeks. But it has affected the way that Jordan Love has thrown the football.
Sure.
From an aspect of he's a hold the ball and kind of run around guy.
Yeah.
We've seen like clog and cover. That's what we talked about with Dak. Rush 3, drop 8, make him have to read it.
Yeah.
Maybe you might have to think about playing a little bit more dime if you want to put a corner on Kraft to maybe. This is where Jordan Lewis lived. This was a Jordan Lewis special.
Jordan Lewis got
if your tight end,
over there.
if your tight end is effective and killing you, this is where Jordan Lewis stepped up and made plays. They need to find somebody. They need to find a way. Because I agree with you about the wide receivers on the outside. Yeah. I think Dobbs, I think he's a good player. And when you see plays down the field, big plays, he can make those plays. I do worry about the tight ends here. That's where I would try and say, okay, who do you need to kind of take away out of this game? Maybe that's the one I would look at.
I wouldn't mind dropping more guys back in coverage because I think you have a run defensive minded D line that can hold you down now.
Right.
Kenny Clark is massive for you.
Yeah.
Kenny Clark's so good, your run game is decent and your linebacker's terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Think about how good that is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I'm just looking at it in that way, it might behoove the Cowboys. I went on social media yesterday and I was surprised about the pushback that I got here. I was like, man, put Donovan Wilson at will linebacker and just see what happens.
People were talking about he's only 215 pounds or something like that.
Man, it's Sanborn humongous and he not getting off blocks neither.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And honestly, I don't even think Sanborn's running into blocks. I can show you some.
You did.
Sanborn,
yeah, absolutely.
Damn, running into blocks.
You got to fill that outside gap and then get there.
I think Donovan has a really good instinct.
Yeah.
About how to get to the ball carry and how to navigate some of those things. And I think having D tackles now to keep those, like if Dan Quinn had proper tackles, then when he was out there running Marquise Bell and Clark down there,
that dime,
they probably would have been much better because you got bigger dudes down here that can actually play. Bryan Broaddus, I would consider, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I would just consider looking at the idea of playing, because I don't want to take Donovan off the field. I just want Donovan to stay the hell out of one high.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us on this beloved episode. Go in the comments and tell us what y'all think. Bryan gonna read them joints every morning, 5 in the morning. He gonna read them at like right at the radio more than likely.
Oh, I do. Like I'm sitting around like at 1 o'clock from like 1 to 1:45. I read comments and try and write back to people. Really do appreciate those comments though.
I'm the only ones that's reading at 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying, Bryan? Follow us on all of our social medias. Also, too, Bryan Broaddus coming up real soon. We're gonna have some Crown Global Media merch coming. So
absolutely,
So they just see the logo on all these, shirts and hoodies and things like that. It's on the way.
Absolutely, yeah. The site and everything's built. We just got to get the thing up and running. But yeah, there will be some merchandise. So our show name, the Doing All Right, be on some stuff, hats and hoodies, T-shirts and stuff. So get ready to check that out very soon.
People want them vests though, Bryan, bro.
Yeah.
People, I had no clue. I'm from Natchez, Mississippi. We don't wear.
I'm glad I turned you onto a vest.
I like vests now. I had no clue how into vests people were.
Yeah.
But the more Crown Global continues to grow and figure this thing out, we'll have some damn vests for y'all. All right. That's BRYN Broaddus on VOCHLONBARDI. We'll catch y'all next time. All right. Crown.